What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Kosher Nostra back at you guys with another sneaker countdown, guys. This time, something a little bit different than what we typically do, guys. I've been picking up all of these Nike Zoom Freak ones, which of course is Giannis Antetokounmpo's first signature shoe. And guys, while that shoe is a little bit streamlined, a little bit scaled back in terms of some of the features that they've actually thrown into the shoe at that price point, guys, I am a pretty big fan of the actual silhouette itself, the feel of the shoe, the ideas behind the shoe, and I've basically picked up every single one, guys. So fam, I thought I'd go ahead and count down the top 12 so far, right? So far. Of course, there's releases looming on the horizon, but guys, I wanted to go ahead and count down the first 12 colorways that have released. Let's go ahead and rank them 1 through 12. Fam, let's get into it. Alright guys, at number 12, the Atmosphere Gray colorway. These are pretty clean, but pretty simple. The little hits of peach on the logo, the little swoosh on the actual tongue, the 34 that adorns that back booty right back there. Those kind of caught me off guard a little bit. It doesn't clash terribly, but guys, just not the color you typically see paired with cool gray, atmosphere gray, wolf gray, just not something you typically see. And honestly guys, I wanted to pick these up for the collection, but overall, just not the most memorable colorway of the Zoom Freak ones. Guys, at number 12, the Atmosphere Gray. At number 11, guys, the Lucid Green colorway, or the black and white colorway, whatever people are calling these. These were essentially the first colorway to drop everywhere. They dropped, I want to say, 2 days after the very first colorway, which of course is always that limited colorway. And these were everywhere. They sat forever and ever and ever, probably went on sale. They're probably still sitting in some places, to be honest, guys. Just a really plain colorway, guys, but a colorway that's really easy to pair with pretty much anything. You've got an all black upper, black tongue, black laces. You have some hits of white on the midsole, some hits of clear on the outsole, which, guys, is actually one of the knocks on some of these colorways. Those clear rose pods on the outsole, they typically collect dust on this sneaker really, really easy. One really cool feature about this colorway, you do have that reverse graphite swoosh on the midsole, guys. These are tough. At number 11, guys, the Lucid Green colorway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at number 10, the All-Star colorway, or the Employee of the Month colorway of the Zoom Freak ones. This was the third release that is a shout out to Coming to America. This was actually supposed to be a nod to the uniforms the employees wore at McDowell's, that fast food joint, which was essentially a complete knockoff of McDonald's, guys. You've got quite a few plaid hits on this shoe, which is something that I think is really a make it or break it feature for this colorway. People are either gonna love it, they're gonna hate it. Most noticeably, you've got the plaid on that reversed swoosh on the lateral portion of the outsole. I actually am a pretty big fan of these guys. Going forward, if I do another, let's say, top 20 countdown or a top countdown of all the colorways, I wouldn't be surprised if this colorway were to jump up, in my opinion. They're pretty clean on feet. You got some pretty cool color combinations with the red from the plaid, that sort of bold blue, that kind of university gold or yellow, and the fact that you have the hits of yellow and red underneath that sort of overlying black mesh, just to give it a little bit more pop to the actual shoe itself, guys. Pretty tough colorway. However, this shoe has a lot of tough colorways. Guys, at number 10, the Employee of the Month, or the All-Star colorway of the Zoom Freak ones. At number 9, guys, the first release from the Coming to America collab. The interesting thing about this shoe is the actual Coming to America logo is featured on the left tongue on this colorway. On the other two colorways, I want to say it's actually featured on the right tongue, which is pretty easy to see because I've actually pulled all of the left shoes out and I've got them sitting on the floor right in front of me, guys. This was one of the first colorways that dropped from this shoe, and honestly kind of gave you an idea of things to come from some of these future colorways. Again, another sort of make it or break it, love or hate colorway with the leopard print that's featured underneath, which was supposed to be a nod to the Shaw that Eddie Murphy wore when he initially came over in Coming to America. Aside from that, you got some sort of faux fur hits on the tongue, on that back booty portion right there, and then you have some really, really dope noticeable hits of gold most noticeably in that reverse swoosh on the lateral portion of the midsole, which, guys, is really a significant theme to a lot of these colorways. They really went ham with however they decided to dress that swoosh. A lot of times that is going to be the feature of the shoe, but then with this colorway, on the actual clear portions of the outsole, you've got some gold speckling in there as well, which I think is tough. I'm always a sucker for any kind of gold speckling or any kind of marbled features to an outsole or a midsole. Guys, at number 9, the leopard print first joint that dropped from the Coming to America collab. At number 8, guys, the roses colorway of the Freak ones. These are super duper clean. You have what is essentially the most white featured shoe that has dropped from the line so far. There is that cookies and cream or Oreo colorway. However, this shoe in total and all, it's got a little bit more white, with that shoe having some more hits of black. You do have some hits of red, most noticeably on the outsole of this shoe. And what was significant about this colorway, it was one of the first colorways, if not the first colorway to drop, that didn't have the iced out portions on the outsole. So we had our first kind of foray and experience with a version of this shoe that would have the full grip potential that you would see from that outsole. Now, having said all that, it still leaves a little bit to be desired. The grip on that outsole, in my opinion, it's just not quite as up to par as some of the other shoes, like the Kyrie 6, the PG4, which in my opinion, the features of that outsole and the grip, the way they cut the indentions into the actual outsole itself, you've just got a lot more uniformity, I guess is probably the best word, in terms of the grip that you get when you're moving horizontally, laterally, vertically, diagonally, whatever movement you might make. Where with these shoes, you'll notice sometimes you'll be slipping, sometimes you'll have superb grip. It really doesn't make any sense. It's kind of hard to explain. I never really figured it out myself. Guys, at number 8, the roses colorway, which of course was another shout out to Giannis's parents, his lineage, and some of the things that they do in Greece when people pass away with the roses and things like that. Tough colorway, guys. At number 7, guys, the black iridescent, the black and photo blue, whatever you want to call these. If the roses colorway was the yin, these are sort of the yang, guys, and these are really, really clean. One thing for me that these really remind me of are some of the older, earlier Dark Knight colorways of the Kobe's that dropped in Kobe's signature line, because you had a lot of black and then you just had really, really minute amounts of photo blue, as you have with this shoe. Again, just going to be on the swoosh that's on the tongue, the GA that's up there on the tongue, that 34 that's back there around on the back booty, and a little teeny tiny one down there on the GA on that outsole. The rest of the shoe is all black, guys. A really, really sleek black. Might be dope if you could get your hands on that right color photo blue lace as well to sort of pair it up, make these pop a little bit more. Guys, if you know anything about me, you know that my personal taste, I tend to gravitate towards all white shoes before I gravitate towards all black shoes. I don't know what it is. I've never been able to explain it. The only thing I can really key on is that black shoes tend to remind me of things that you wear to work, you know, where you wear like an all black sort of gloss shoe or whatever with some khakis or whatever. That's how I always felt about black shoes. Now, having said that, I don't know if it's just the small amounts of photo blue, or I suspect that sort of rainbow iridescent sort of hologrammy swoosh that's going on down there, man. In my opinion, it's really, really tough. Even in my hand, guys, you can see as I sort of move it around in the light, which I don't really have the best lighting in here. My apologies for that. But generally, I'm trying to show you guys the shoe and not me, which I'm sure you guys definitely appreciate. But as you can see, man, when I move this around in my hand, the light just bounces off this shoe in so many crazy ways. Guys, at number 7, the black iridescent colorway of the Freak ones. Guys, moving on to number 6, the only colorway that I've yet to pick up of the Freak ones that has dropped so far, the cookies and cream colorway or the Oreos colorway. I'll try to throw a picture maybe right up there of that colorway. Unfortunately, guys, Footlockers around here closed a few weeks ago. The last day they were open was Monday when that cookies and cream pack dropped. My plan was actually to cycle up there either Tuesday or Wednesday and pretty much cop all 3 of them. I was gonna get the Kyries, the PGs, and the Freaks. Definitely the Freaks and the Kyries because I've been going ham on those. But that was the plan, and unfortunately they closed Tuesday and I just never got around to doing it. I don't know if I'm gonna order them online or just wait for them to open back up. We will see. But guys, tough colorway, albeit a very simple colorway, and I suspect a colorway that's going to be just as easy to get dirty as that Roses colorway. Unfortunately, that Roses colorway, literally guys, you look at them things dirty and you're going to see it on that upper. I honestly feel like the cookies and cream colorway, at least on the white portions of that mesh textile upper, it's going to be the same way, guys. But guys, we'll see when we get those things in hand, and maybe in the future list they'll rise or they'll fall. We'll see how that goes. Moving into the top 5, at number 6, the cookies and cream colorway of the Freak Ones. All right, guys, at number 5, the grease colorway of the Freak Ones. I really dig this colorway. The blue on this upper, it really pops. Contrast that with the gold hits that you see here and there, and then of course the white and that really light gray that they feature on portions of the outsole. It's just a really clean colorway. Honestly, with the white and the blue being the predominant colors that you see, I mean, that's why you see those colors being rocked on sports teams going back 100 years, because they're classic, they pop, and they never get old, guys. And then couple that with the hits of gold that you have here and there, such as that GA logo on that actual tongue, on the actual sort of bands that work their way into the actual lacing system, and of course on that swoosh on the lateral portion of the midsole, which has these sort of gold speckles that are worked into that. Guys, a really tough, really clean, just classy colorway, and the first colorway, actually the only colorway that features these sort of pattern underneath the mesh upper. It's the first time, the only time we've seen them do anything underneath that mesh to really show off some of the potential that they are able to do, and they sort of have this pattern going on. It's hard to explain what the pattern is, but when you look at it up close, it's just a very telltale sort of ancient Greek kind of pattern. It's just very reminiscent of that and patterns and things like that that they have on the flag. Guys, at number 5, the grease colorway of the Freak Ones. All right, guys, at number 4, the Noble Red All Bros colorway of the Freak Ones. These are clean. This is just sort of a unique color combination, in my opinion, with the sort of burgundy hits to the shoe, and then you have this really kind of pale, almost nude sort of yellow color, combined with the sort of hits of crimson or red orbit or whatever exactly that color is. I really dig that fade that they've got going on the midsole, whether you're looking at the inside or the outside of the shoe. Again, you've got white hits on the outsole. So one thing that I will say that this shoe has sort of suffered from, it's been plagued by, is just about every single one of these colorways, if not every one of these colorways, you've got white on the outsole or you've got clear hits on the outsole. So guys, these outsoles are just going to really dirty and show their age over time, unfortunately. Not sure why they continue to bring the white hits. I will say I personally do have a love-hate relationship with the clear hits, but for a colorway that's designed by one of Giannis's brothers, these are super clean and sort of contrast that very first colorway, that Antetokounmpo Bros colorway that dropped. These are clean, guys. At number 4, guys, the Noble Red All Bros colorway. All right, fam, on to number 3. It's getting really interesting. The Soul Glow colorway of the Freak Ones. This colorway, for me personally, I don't know what it is. It just makes me think of the Adam West Batmobile and that really old cheesy Batman TV show. It's the color combinations. It's the hit of gloss that they have on the tongue and on the booty, which is really only featured on one other colorway, which is going to be that grease colorway. I want to say this was the first colorway from the Freak Ones that came with extra laces. So you got the black laces, you've got the red orbit laces, and then you've got that sort of dynamic yellow lace right out of the bag. So you got a lot of options with these. I don't know which lace I like best, but it's definitely not that black lace. I definitely think the other two laces accent this shoe a whole lot better, guys. And I also really dig how you've got the hits of red underneath the mesh that sort of subtly pop. All in all, just a really clean, dope colorway. Another colorway that was a shout out to the Coming to America movie. This time, of course, a shout out to the fictional Soul Glow Jerry Curl grease that was featured in a commercial, and I want to say a couple times throughout the movie. Just a really tough, dope colorway. At number 3, the Soul Glows. All right, guys, at number 2, what was the clear-cut number 1 for a long time, but guys, was recently knocked off. The All Bros, the Antetokounmpo Bros, the Part 1, whatever you want to call these. This colorway is fire, fam. That orange contrasted with the blue definitely makes me think personally of New York Mets, even though it's a little bit brighter of an orange perhaps, but the colorway itself is really dope. If you scroll back and look at that Noble Red colorway, guys, the patterns to this shoe are very, very familiar. It's essentially all the same, just with different color combinations thrown into the mix. And of course, you've got clear hits on the outsole right here and here on the rose pods. This was actually the first colorway to drop, so it dropped a little bit more limited. It wasn't really available everywhere. All stores didn't actually get this colorway versus that lucid green colorway, which was essentially everywhere for the longest time, guys. These pretty much went quick just because there's always a little bit more buzz with colorway 1, fam. I really dig these. I think I've worn these more than everything else, also with them being a little bit more limited and being out a little bit longer. That's just my MO. I generally tend to wear stuff that I feel like I'm not going to see on everybody's feet. Even though I pick up a lot of these colorways, I'll just kind of let them sit on ice for a little while. Guys, at number 2, the first colorway that dropped, the All Bros number 1, the Antetokounmpo, whatever you want to call these joints, fam, they are clean. All right, guys, if you've been with us since number 12 and you're familiar with all those colorways, you probably know what's coming up next. For all of these shoes, I've only been throwing up the left shoe because essentially they're all very similar. But for this colorway, I had to bust them both out because you've got that sort of what the themed colorway going on here, even though I think these were actually dubbed the multicolors. These are super dope. Probably the only colorway of the Freak ones that have really moved off shelves locally just about everywhere. I'm sure a lot of places have gotten restocks and stuff like that, and they're still available online. But in a lot of stores around here, guys, these were hard to get your hands on if you weren't proactive about it. This colorway really embodies me and what I like in sneakers 100%. It's just super loud, super colorful. There's really no rhyme or reason to a lot of the colors thrown together. However, the color combinations work, in my opinion. You've got a primarily blue sneaker for that right foot. Again, you've got some hits of orange, but then you couple that with some sort of Volt and then infrared or red orbit. And then on that left shoe, you got some more hits of Volt in terms of the laces. Then you got some hunter green, you've got purple, you got a little bit more of that infrared. So the shoes themselves do have 1 or 2 colors in common, and then the rest of the colors are really coming out of left field. My personal favorite colorway of the Zoom Freak ones, guys. Now, having said that, guys, just because it's my favorite number 1, that doesn't make it the number 1. I'm sure if a lot of you guys did top 3s, you might have 1 or 2 in common, or your whole top 3 might be completely opposite from what I got going on. It's all a matter of personal taste, guys, so take everything I said with a grain of salt. People love these videos, but they also get in their feels about these videos. I copped all these sneakers, guys, so I definitely like them all, so I'm not trying to bash any of these colorways. I'm a sneakerhead. That's not something that I personally do. Fam, I hope y'all enjoyed this countdown. As they continue to release more colorways, expect another countdown in the future because I plan on copping all these joints. Appreciate you guys rocking with me. My name is Kosher Nostra. Throw me a thumbs up down below. Throw me a comment down below, guys, and I'll definitely hit you back. Much love. I hope everybody out there is staying safe, staying healthy. Peace, fam.